A parent who says a Linmar teacher sexually assaulted his daughter feels ignored. The district placed the teacher on leave and allowed him to resign without any explanation to the family or to the public.
TV9's chief investigative reporter Josh Scheinblum explains why it's difficult to get answers.
Nowhere else to turn. That's why a Marion family says they're telling the story of their daughter's alleged sexual abuse to I-9. Marion police say they've investigated the case twice, once as a sexual assault, most recently as a simple assault. In the end, police say there simply wasn't enough evidence for the incidents that happened 2 years ago. But what's frustrating the family most is what they see as a lack of action.
It started in 7th grade, but I didn't really realize, it wasn't considered sexual assault in my mind, but then in 8th grade, that's when it kind of turned to, more of a serious situation.
In this recording at the Child Protection Center in Hiawatha, a then 15-year-old girl explains her alleged sexual assault to a forensic interviewer.
It was, again, mostly my butt, but there were about 2 incidences with my breast and 1 incidence with my vagina.
The girl says the abuse happened repeatedly from 2014 to 2016 in the Linmar School District during school hours at the hands of her teacher.
What was the person's name?
Mr.
She was a student at Excelsior Middle School at the time. We made several attempts to contact the teacher to get their side of the story, but we haven't heard back.
He said he'd fail me if I told anybody about it.
I take that as a threat.
Ian Gerard is the girl's father. Why did you reach out to us?
I reached out to you because I have a problem with just about everything that I've been told. And I'm not a person given to flights of fancy or conspiracy theories or anything like that. But there's just too much that doesn't add up.
Gerard tells I-9 his family brought their allegations to a counselor at Linmar High School in early October. The teacher was subsequently placed on paid administrative leave on October 18th, where he has remained ever since. Is there any reason we shouldn't believe your daughter? Does she have a track record of making things up?
No, not at all.
Marion police back that up, telling us there is no evidence she's lying. Their investigation uncovered a letter Gerard's daughter wrote with another unnamed Excelsior student. It describes the teacher's behavior as perverted and pedophilic, adding, "We have thought very much about this issue before it was addressed with an administrator." The letter does not mention sexual assault, but the girl says she reported the sexual abuse to an associate principal at Excelsior in 2016.
He pulled out a legal pad and he was writing notes and stuff on that, and he said there was going to be an investigation, and I asked him about 2 or 3 weeks later where it was, where our case was in the investigation, who it was going to, who was handling it, and he said he couldn't say anything due to legal reasons.
But we could not find any records of her complaints in the girl's student records.
I would have at least expected someone to call me on the phone and say, "Hey, we have a situation, your daughter has made a report. We wanted you to be aware." Nobody did that.
Did they send you an email? Did anyone try to reach out to you?
Nothing.
There's also this paper trail to consider. It's Gerard's daughter's medical files. Around the same time she was allegedly being touched by her teacher, she started being hospitalized for depression and suicidal thoughts. It happened repeatedly from 2015 through 2017, and records show that it took years of treatment before she ultimately told medical professionals that she was sexually assaulted.
We had hospitalized on several different occasions because of this. Her behavior and her demeanor overall was understandable given what she'd went through, but at that point we still didn't know.
The district says it conducted an investigation of its own, but refuses to release any of those findings. I-9 did obtain this, a separation agreement allowing the teacher to resign in lieu of termination. It let him stay on leave and keep getting paychecks through June, but the district has refused to tell us or the Gerard family why they saw an end to the teacher's employment.
People need to know what's going on. People need to know that this happened. And unfortunately now we feel as a family that we're left with no other option than, one, to sit here and talk to you, and two, and that is to file suit.
I invited Superintendent Quinton Shepard and every member of the Linn-Mar School Board to take part in an interview for this story. The only response we received was from the district's attorney, who told us Superintendent Shepard would be declining that offer, adding the school district is subject to federal and state laws regarding confidentiality of student and personnel information. However, the head of Iowa's Public Information Board says that's not entirely true. We asked Executive Director Margaret Johnson about the district's refusal to explain the teacher's resignation. She tells us the law states if a public employee resigns in lieu of termination, then the government body needs to release the documented reasons and rationale for the termination. We sent that to the district, but they have not responded. In studio, Josh Scheinblum, KCRG, TV 9 News.